Hello? We are live. How are you? I'm Daniel Pace of Simple Crypto Consulting. I am going to be doing a live stream of the Theta drop. We're just going to sit here and, chill and wait for it to happen. Not exactly, but pretty close. So I'm going to just check, make sure everything with the live stream is good. So there's going to be a little bit of a pause, but just bear with me. I just want to make sure I can hear myself talk. I just want to make sure I can hear myself talk. So it seems like it's a little low. We can fix that by turning up the volume a little bit. And that should be good. I have a pretty intense echo here. All right. Thanks for joining me. And all right, I need to mute this. Oh, is my logo like right over my face? I need to look at this on YouTube and actually see. Now, I hope that this thumbnail is not the same. Okay, so the logo is not right in front of my face. That's good. Okay. So here we go. I think the thumbnail is completely different, but I don't see where I can change that. Oh, there it is. Haha. See, I thought I was ready, and then you get it all set up, and there's just always one more thing. So I want this thumbnail to look differently, obviously. And I have one all set up, and I don't think anybody's really gonna be able to tell till afterwards, but that's okay. All right, everything you need to know about Theta drop and probably more. Okay. See, the problem is I just didn't scroll down far enough. Okay. So, why are we here? We're talking about T-drop. What is T-drop? Well, you could read this incredibly long white paper and find out about what T-drop is, or you could just tune in and I can just give you a rundown about what T-drop is. Essentially, T-drop is a governance token for the NFT platform Theta drop that is running on Theta's blockchain. And so Theta drop, here's their Twitter account. I've been just following them to make sure I don't miss any updates. Theta drop is where you go and purchase NFTs, essentially. And then you can buy and sell them on the marketplace. It's OpenSea, but it's for Theta, right? So T-drop is going to be a governance token for Theta drop, the platform. And so those that are holding Theta drop or T-drop, and those that are staking it will get proportional amounts of voting power on the future of the Theta drop platform. So that's basically what it is. So it exists to incentivize the usage of their NFT platform. So, hey, Manny, good to see you in the chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate the follow. So what's the point of Theta drop? It's the point is to incentivize using NFTs and stuff like that, right? And so there's a whole bunch that goes into it, and I would forgive anybody for not knowing exactly what to do with it or anything like that, or what the point of it is. So the point of it is incentivizing the usage of NFTs. So part of what's going to happen every time you come to the Theta Drop marketplace and you purchase one of these NFTs with T Fuel, and it's only T Fuel at this point in time. Every time you purchase an NFT with T Fuel, you'll be rewarded a certain amount with TDROP. And this is essentially how new TDROP will be added to the circulating supply over time. You can think of it as mining. By purchasing NFTs, you can mine TDROP. Another way that they're going to be adding to the circulating supply over time is through airdrops, staking rewards, and I have it all written down somewhere. Well, that's about it. Airdrop, mining, and staking rewards. Over time, those are going to add to the circulating supply, right? So we talked about the mining. The mining is sort of the biggest thing. That's the biggest new thing. It's sort of it's a new idea that you'll get rewarded for purchasing an NFT, and so that's kind of the most unique part of Theta Drop, and they have a really complicated algorithm that controls how. Basically, it controls how much you get rewarded based on the last amount that the NFT was sold for and how long it's been since it's been sold. And so there's an algorithm in place that disincentivizes wash trading or like flipping. Basically, you just buy it and then you flip it real fast. The cost of doing that will exceed the reward you get in TDROP. And it's a super complicated algorithm. Like, not really going to go into it too much, but essentially you are going to be encouraged to hold the NFT for longer. And that's really where the value of NFTs is going to come from, with a bunch of people holding for a long period of time, and they accrue in value over time, essentially. So there's that. That's the whole idea of mining TDROP. Now, the next part is staking. What is going to be really cool about staking TDROP is there's not like a maximum or minimum. So in the Theta ecosystem so far, you can stake T Fuel and you can stake Theta. So Theta is the governance token for the Theta blockchain, and T Fuel is kind of the gas. It's like it's what you need to do transactions and stuff like that. So transaction fees and all that kind of stuff. And you can stake those and then earn rewards. For Theta, you need at least 1,000 Theta to stake to get rewards as a guardian node. And then for TDROP, or for T Fuel, you need at least 10,000 T Fuel to earn rewards on an edge node. And so you have validator nodes and guardian nodes and edge nodes. It's very robust already. And they're just adding to it with this TDROP stuff. So with TDROP, you're going to see it show up in the wallet. It's gonna show up in here like this, and hopefully in about 30 minutes we'll see that happen. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in the native wallet first, and then it'll show up in like the Google Chrome extension wallet and the mobile wallet. It'll probably take some time for those to show up, because they have to, you have to get those updates and stuff like that through the Play Store and the extension store, etc. So I'm hoping that at around noon, in about 30 minutes, it'll show up here. And then from there, you can go to stakes, and then you could do deposit stake, and you'll have the option, as far as I know, we'll see, to stake your TDROP. And you could stake, it seems like there's no minimum amount, so I guess you could just stake one if you wanted to. So here's the question, should you stake TDROP? What are the other options? So we talked about the mining, which you're probably going to get, it's a for their example, they were showing that you would get maybe about 5 T drop for some NFT that cost like 100 T fuel. So it's not a substantial amount of rewards. Okay, for the staking, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, and we'll definitely get into that. And then for the the other thing, the liquidity pools, that's what you're also going to get. That's another way to generate T drop by providing liquidity, and that's a bit more complicated. So a liquidity pool is going to basically be on the decentralized exchanges, Theta Swap and Volt Swap initially. Those are going to be the two places where you can swap T drop and for T fuel, right? And so if you wanted to earn more T drop than you already have, you could take some T fuel and take some T drop once it becomes available, and you can put it into a liquidity pool. And then you will earn 3% of every transaction, proportional 0.3% of every transaction on those trades, proportionally to how much you put into the pool. That's how liquidity pools work all together. So the question then comes up with, okay, how much T drop should I be expecting? Which we answered that, a couple months ago in another video with the calculator, and that was pretty close to correct. As long as you put in the averages and had that all correct. So now we can tell how much we have right now. So if you're curious, you would go to your wallet and you could go to view account on Explorer. And this will show you, well, I don't have any T drop in this wallet because I wasn't staking from this wallet at the time. But right here, you would have T drop. So I'm not going to show you the wallet that I have where I have it staked, anything like that. But that's how you would go find it. This is sort of just a throwaway wallet for video purposes. So you should be able to see that. And then from there, you should be able to figure out, well, then you would want to know, what do I do with it? Should I stake it? Should I do liquidity mining? Should I just leave it alone? Well, those are all good questions. And I spent a lot of time yesterday sort of trying to figure that out. So I don't want to bore people to death, but it is interesting to me to kind of look at some of this information. So based on the white paper, I was able to kind of recreate their distribution plan. Not all this stuff was easy to see or figure out. And so this is Theta Labs. It's kind of directly from the white paper distribution schedule. So if we kind of go over here, I'll show you what I based this off of. So this is the white paper, and this is all the really crazy technical stuff. And sometimes it can be hard to read through this and get a good idea of what is the point of all of it. So this is explaining how all of it works. So this is the things I talked about: liquidity mining, that kind of stuff. Something that is good to mention, as they're hoping that as people adopt this kind of technology and stuff, they'll be buying more NFTs with T Fuel and burn more T Fuel, and then that will increase the price of T Fuel. So there's all that. So this is the schedule basically that they gave us. And it didn't come with formulas or anything like that. So I really just wanted to kind of figure out, where do these numbers come from and what does all of this mean? How much could you expect to get from staking if you have like a small amount of Theta? So I spent a bunch of time trying to figure that out. And that's where this all came from. So this actually has the formulas, and this is basically I just recreated it from scratch and filled in the missing blanks, because this goes by quarters, and then it just stops doing that and skips to going by years. And so there's a whole bunch of just missing data and stuff like that. And so I just really wanted to reverse engineer all that and figure out what the numbers were to kind of figure out what the what would you, get for staking and stuff like that? Or how could you theoretically predict staking and price action? Because all of it's sort of interconnected. And so that's kind of what we're here to do today, is just sort of go through some hypotheticals and watch things as they take place. Now, before I go into what I'm seeing happen kind of currently, particularly with Volt Swap, I just want to break down why or how some of this stuff should work, and over is the grand overarching plan. So today we're gonna see an airdrop for Theta, Guardian, and Validator node holders, stakers. That is going to be worth 1.3 billion TDROP, essentially. So today, 1.3 billion TDROP is gonna be distributed proportionally to anyone holding a Guardian node or a Validator node. And so if you have that, you should see that in your wallet like we discussed earlier. Okay, so also today, Theta Labs is going to be given 2 billion TDROP. That's just going to be given to them, and then they're just going to have it. Okay, there's not going to be an ongoing amount given. So Theta Labs is going to have 2 billion TDROP. And then the Theta team is going to be given the same amount as the community. So these vesting schedules are the same. So every quarter, this amount of TDROP is going to be added to the supply. Now this is important because it gives you our current circulating supply. With the current circulating supply, we can start to figure out what a staking reward might be from a month-to-month perspective, or quarter to quarter, or on a yearly basis. So that's why it's important to kind of pay attention to how much TDROP is going to be entering the supply over time. Now, you can see here there's 0 today, and this quarter, basically, well, mainly today. Starting today, we should start seeing some of this stuff start entering into the supply. And that's just going to be based on a lot of assumptions. So starting here, this is the Nft Liquidity Mining. Over the next 4 years, 6 billion TDROP is set aside for that unique mining algorithm. So every time someone buys an NFT, these rewards will come out of this 6 billion. And that rate is sort of assuming like a linear progression. And you can see that here. This might look crazy and complicated, but really this is just showing how much they assumed will be entering in through this mining mechanism over the next 4 years. So between now and February 2026, we'll see ideally all 6 billion TDROP enter into the supply. Now, this assumes a lot of things. This assumes that people are going to be buying NFTs that much, and that those prices are going to, be able to demand that much of a reward, et cetera, et cetera. So this is based on their assumptions of a rather linear percentage increase per month. And that's what I've broken down here. And so I kind of extrapolated what they assumed would happen. Their assumption is basically, on average, that 2% will be added to the supply every month. They broke it up into a little bit more. They gave it more like wiggle room for the first little bit. Basically, the assumption is it's going to start off sort of like slower, and then we might see a spike, and it'll continue at that, and then we might level off into something more stable around 2% for the rest of the endeavor, and the rest of the, vesting schedule. So essentially, this would be the same amount if this was 2.083% for the entire vesting schedule. These numbers just indicate that they were trying to give a little bit of wiggle room. And this is the percentage difference, how much more is going to be added over time. And so you can see that, hey, where'd my stuff go? What's going on? That was weird. We can see that as time goes on, this is the kind of the curve that will follow. Each month, less and less actual T-fuel is going to be, or T-drop is going to be added. So I don't know if that's incredibly important necessarily. That's just a good breakdown of what is going to be happening. And that's how we get from 0 to 187 million in 3 months. That's that process. The next part is community staking rewards. And that's going to take 4 years. And that's going to be given out at a set amount for the next several years as well. Now, this is where probably the most amount of people are going to get the best reward is through staking. Now, how do we figure that out? And how do we go from 0 to 250 million in 3 months? And that is where what we have here. Starting today, around 3 p.m., staking rewards will go into effect. And you'll start earning for whatever you have staked. And then we can see that based on the numbers that they provided, it's about 8% per month that's going to be added into the overall circulation. And so 8% of 4 billion every month leads us to what we get here. And so by the end of the 4 years, we'll have all 20 billion T-drop in circulation. An important thing to note is there is no discussion of a burning mechanism for T-drop. And so at this point in time, it's 20 billion will come into existence, and then they will stay there. There's no evidence that we will be able to burn or get rid of them quite yet, but we might be able to as time goes on. That might be something that that we might be able to vote on, I guess, in the future. So Manny says, crazy amount of work you've done. Is T-drop just dropped each quarter? When will it stop? So the airdrop. Okay. So the airdrop for the Guardian and Validator nodes is going to start off today. It's going to be 1/3 of this amount. It's going to be 1/3 of 4 billion for the community. And when I say community, I mean Guardian nodes and Validator nodes. And then same thing for the team. So you have community and team. So today that airdrop is going to be 1/3 of that supply. Now, every quarter from here on out, we're going to get 1/6 airdropped. And that's going to be equal to roughly 2 billion, 2.6 billion, 3 billion. And then by the end of next year, the whole amount will be done. So it'll take one whole year of quarterly distributions to get to the 4 billion for the community and the 4 billion for the Theta team. And so the breakdown of that kind of looks like this. So the median amount of Theta staked total based on all the Guardian nodes. I had a heck of a time trying to get this information. This is all the information I could get on all staked Guardian nodes. So there's about 3,562 current Guardian nodes, and this includes the validator nodes as well. And there's about 15 of those. Anyway, so the average amount of staked Theta is somewhere around like 100,000 or something like that. And the average amount of TDROP that's going to be given out today is about 300,000. The middle of that is going to be about 8,600. And then the most common amount that will be received today is about 2,000. And that kind of checks out that the most amount of Guardian nodes are staking 1,000 Theta. And so the ratio was about 2 to 1, basically, depending on if you had it staked consistently for the entire time, you'd probably get about 2,000, give or take, TDROP, right? And so you figure that out by taking whatever you had staked, the Theta, divide it, and you get the number of total Theta staked, which has fluctuated between, back in, October when I put this together, it was about 644 million. Now it's 646. And actually, I think even more recently, it's 648. So that is what causes fluctuation, because it's going to be based on whatever that, day that the total amount of Theta staked was. Anyway, so this is why it fluctuates. But then you take your amount and you divide it by the total amount, and that's your percentage. And then the total proportion of what you're going to get is about 6,000 altogether. Today, you'll get about 2,000, and then in subsequent quarters, you'll get about 1,000. So that's how that's going to work out. So in May, you'll get 1/6 of 4 billion based on, and this is another important thing, every quarter, it's going to recalculate your percentage. So I want to check that median article and show that little chart, because that'll explain it better than I can. So here you go. This is the chart. So the first amount of your reward was based on August 1st to January 15th, which changed somewhere in between, because it was going to be all the way until February. And so the initial calculations might have been off a little bit because I was including the last half of January, and they changed that to January 15th. So then the next quarter, so after today, we're going to get the airdrop. Then the new period for rewards it will have started on January 15th, and it'll go to April 15th. So if, say, you were to buy a bunch of Theta and stake it to a Guardian node, or you were to withdraw a stake, that would change how much T-Fuel or how much T-Drop will be rewarded on May 1st. So that, do with that what you will. My strategy was to, once I learned about this, is I unstaked and restaked somewhere around October. And so I was able to kind of squeeze out a little bit more T-Drop than I would have if I would have just left that initial stake the same. So this changes sort of things a bit significantly, because every quarter it's going to fluctuate if you change your staked Theta. So that's important to understand. So that's the airdrop. I hope that was not too complicated. I was trying to simplify it more than it's been written about in the white paper. The white paper gives you about 6 sentences on how this drops, and you have to extrapolate it more from there. And so this information wasn't actually in the white paper. And so that's what we've had to do. Okay, so let's talk about staking rewards and potential price action. The staking rewards, this is kind of the fun part, are going to be based on how much there is in the circulating supply right now and how much of that gets staked. Initially, when they put their numbers out for their white paper, the Theta team assumed 50% of the circulating supply would be staked. Now, that just makes it easy for coming up with numbers and stuff like that. That's not necessarily realistic, because right now, Theta has been out for, I don't know, it's been since 2017. I think T-Fuel's been out since like 2019. Respectively, we're looking at 64% and 41% of those amounts staked. So it takes several years, I think, to even approach 50%. And I think we're probably going to see the same thing for TDROP. So I don't know. You can use 50% if you want, but this whole thing breaks it down. If you assume a 50% staked rate, all right, and you would get their numbers of 42.8% per year as staking rewards. Obviously, now this is why we talked about the supply changing. As the supply changes, as the circulating supply increases each month, the APY will change, and then the monthly percentage yield and the daily percentage yield will change as the supply increases. And so that's why it's important to talk about the minting process and the staking rewards, because each day, basically, more TDROP is going to be added to the supply, and that's going to change the staking rewards. And we can see that the staking rewards just naturally decrease all the way down to about 10% per year. And that puts you down at less than 1% per month, about 0.03% on a daily basis. So there's a whole lot to this, and I just want to really break it down, hopefully, in just really simple layman's terms. So staking rewards, this is their staking rewards. They were assuming 50% staked. If we come over here, here's a dynamic spreadsheet. Based on what I said earlier, with the most amount of Guardian nodes hold 1,000 Theta, and that indicates that most of those wallets were given about 2,000 TDROP. If it's not the case, it'd be cool to hear from other people about like how much they got. But there's obviously going to be a significant distribution, because we have some people up here at the top. These validator nodes are all going to be getting well over, the lowest amount these validators will be getting is probably about 4 million TDROP. We have this one random Guardian node that is staking 213 million Theta. I bet that's G-Pool. Never mind. I'm pretty sure that's G-Pool. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not even going to tackle that. So there's all that. So anyway, going back to where I was, I'm assuming that most people are going to have about 2,000 TDROP in their wallet. So let's assume that we'll start with 50%. 50% of the supply gets staked. At that point, if you stake the 2,000 that you get today, this is probably what you'll see happen. This is a monthly basis. You could expect to see about 70 TDROP per month for a while. And this is like an amortization schedule. So this is going to go from your starting balance, your reward. This is going to add your reward to your balance. And then basically it's going to restake that amount. And so this new reward amount is based off of, this month's, March's APY. It's actually like an MPY, monthly percentage yield, and the new amount that you have going there. And so this kind of just shows you, like, you start with 2,000, you stake it we have a 50% stake, and then you add in, once these new airdrops happen, all the way until the next year, add these in, you're looking at like over the course of the next 4 years, you could probably get about 4,000 TDROP out of this. And so you would end the whole, vesting schedule with about 10,000 total. So because you'll be adding 2,000, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would be your total airdropped amount, plus the 4,000 in rewards, you'd end up with about 10,000. So we're not really there yet, but with the speculated price, if it's somewhere around 5 cents, I think that's different right now, you're looking at about $500 in free value. So it's not bad, It's like you just sit it and stake it, and restake, once a month. Not a bad gig. But that's kind of how that would work. Obviously, if you were to stake something like 200,000, obviously that would you'd be doing pretty good. If somebody staked 4 million, I mean, geez, if only, right? If only we had that kind of money. One day, right? I want this to have, yeah, that's 4 million. I want that to have. So obviously, the more you have and the more you stake, the better it's going to be for you. So then it's almost noon. I want to check out something else. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about really quickly is liquidity. Liquidity pools. So if anyone who's been around crypto for a while, knows that, on a DEX, a decentralized exchange, what you're trading against is other people who have put their tokens up for to be traded against, obviously. So if you want to trade USDC for ETH, you have a bunch of people that put USDC and ETH into these liquidity pools. You buy from one and you give to the other. So if you want to trade your ETH for USDC, you'll go through that process in the liquidity pool based on those, percentages and stuff like that, set the price. So as of yet, we don't know of any exchanges that are going to be listing TDROP. It's not on CoinMarketCap. I keep checking. I keep wanting it to show up. I don't think we're going to be able to, get a price for it right away. And so that's why I had to go digging through the Uniswap code and documentation to figure out how Uniswap and Theta Swap, they both use the same pricing algorithm, and I'm assuming VoltSwap the same. And so I wanted to figure out how do they make their prices, and it all seems very complicated. I mean, this is the whole thing here. I mean, if somebody knows how to do it simpler, I would love to know as well. But this is how you figure out the price, and this is what goes on behind the scenes. There's a simpler way to do it that I found that gives a pretty rough, close estimate. So with all that being said, we know that you'll be able to provide liquidity on Theta Swap and VoltSwap based on their Twitter accounts and stuff like that. That's where I figured that out. Oh, I wanted to have VoltSwaps up here to keep track of it as well. Just want to check and see if there's anything new. Half an hour until, no, that was yesterday. That was an Ask Me Anything, an AMA that I read through, and that was interesting. Let's go back to Twitter, and I'm going to look up VoltSwap. So 3 hours ago, we still have this information. It's about the same. Yeah, this is just the schedule of events. So anyway, they're going to be, VoltSwap is going to be participating in all of this as well. So I went and I was going to try to figure stuff out with VoltSwap, and I accidentally stumbled upon that they were the liquidity and everything was like changing by the minute about an hour ago, um, and so that was fascinating to see. So let's go home and we'll just look at it here. So this is your basic like setup. I linked my Chrome wallet. It's just got like 50 T fuel in it. Nothing interesting. And so these are all the initial coins that you can trade here. And they already had TDROP on there. And so I wanted to, you can kind of look at this and see, oh, you can actually swap it now. Can I? It's 12 p.m. So here we go. So this is the like live price right now. 0.7 T fuel per TDROP. All right. So let's look at the liquidity pool and kind of see what I was looking at there as well. So if we wanted T fuel to T drop, all right, we're looking at 1 T drop per T fuel. So we have 1.2 T drop per T fuel. If the price of Theta fuel is still, about 18 cents, we are going to put in 1.7. We're looking at a 10-cent T drop right now. No, it's actually 1.2. Let's try that. 1.2. So now we're at 15 cents. So not on any exchanges or anything like that, but hey, I think this is like up to the minute accuracy here. So if you were to do 10 T fuel, you'll get a little bit more T drop. Maybe I have that, and now it's changing by the minute. So it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio right now, which is sort of what I had predicted. I predicted about a 1.41 ratio, and I did that by assuming we had the entire liquid amount of T fuel and the entire liquid amount of T drop put onto a contract somewhere. Where would you get it? You'd get about 1.5. And so that would put about 18 cents and 12 cents. So it's actually a little bit higher than I had predicted. I was thinking about 12 cents. I think right at the moment we're looking at about 15 cents. And that's not entirely accurate because it's actually 0.175. It's about 14 cents. So we're going to see how this goes down. I want to see, I don't see anything going on Twitter. I was expecting a lot more. So that's that. Theta Network. Oops, I didn't want to go with that. I wanted to go home. Let's see if Theta has tweeted anything. Nope, it's still just the same. So it was supposed to be at block 13,949,000. I'm going to check my node, and I'm going to see what block we're on right now. We're at 13,947,319. So this went live just like not that long ago. And so, man, let's see if there's any like action going on. Oop. Nothing going on at the moment. I thought for sure there'd be a little bit more interest. Let's try the $sign. As always, people on Twitter are great. Just so helpful. All right, so let's go check the wallet and see if we can see this. Let's refresh this. Oh gosh, come on. I have to log in. Don't mind me. All right, well, supposedly it's live, but this is not updated yet. Oh, wait. Well, I'm showing you the wallet that doesn't have any T-drop in it. Obviously, that's not going to work. Let's go to, I'm going to look at the other wallet that actually has a T-drop. And then let's see what's going on. Hope that worked. I didn't put that in incorrectly. The blockchain explorer has not been updated. Uh-oh, I think I put the password in wrong. Pardon me. Aha. All right. So I just updated the wallet. It does not show the T-drop. It's only been, what, 6 minutes? But all right. So what we should also try and figure out is how we can find the contract address for T-drop, because that has not been made obvious, because it doesn't show up on the blockchain explorer or anything like that. So let's go look back and look at the swap again. So it looks like on Volt Swap, you should be able to swap for T-drop, because there's already been some liquidity pools set up. So right now we're looking at about a 1 to 0.79 ratio now. So now it's 1.2, almost 1.32 fuel per T-drop. So let's look at this again and calculate it. So now we've dropped down to 0.79. So even just where we've been at, the price has gone up to 22 cents per T-drop. So it's actually more expensive than Theta Theta fuel right at the moment. So that means if you were to swap, 1 T fuel, how much would you get? You would get 0.7 T-drop. So T-drop is currently more expensive than T fuel. So that's exciting. So if you were to take this current price, what we have here, we're looking at 22 cents. You could hello, Bitcoin Trini. How are you? Thanks for joining us. You could take this in and you could take a look at, well, let's change this to something more reasonable. I don't think I know anybody that has 4 million of these things. Let's talk about 2,000. And we put it about 22 cents. I mean, we're looking at about $2,000 over the course of this whole thing. That's not too bad. I mean, but right now we're just tracing this fluctuation. It's gonna be pretty crazy, I think. And there's no good way to like watch this in real time. So I was watching it from 1 cent around 10 o'clock, and then it went to 5 cents, and then it went up to 10 cents. And recently, where were we before we did this? We were at 14 cents right now. So if I'm just, I don't know, for grins and giggles, say we were at 0.1. I watched it go to 0.5. I watched it go to 0.6. I went to 0.12 just a few minutes ago. Right now we're at 0.22. Let's just make all of this dollar signs. So we're tracking the price, and it is, as we speak, going up pretty significantly. So with the with about 50 T fuel, you could probably get almost 40 T drop right now. So, and then I guess you could also, well, you can't quite swap it yet because the wallet has not updated to where you can access the T drop. So that's still going to take some time. I keep refreshing the wallet, and I keep having to enter in my information, which is not ideal when you're on a live stream. You know, because sometimes you say your password out loud as you're like typing it, and you're like, well, I can't do that. So, yep, there's still no interface on the wallet. It's still 1210. So I'm going to look at the liquidity pools again. So if we were to go in here, this will tell us what the conversion rate is from T fuel to T drop. 0.79. We're still kind of about the same where we were. I'm going to take this and just kind of put it over here in something brand new so we're not looking at all that crazy gibberish. So Theta fuel is still trading at around 1.75, 1.74. So we're seeing not much happening with T fuel. So we'll change, oops, 1.754. Yep, about the same. So fascinating stuff to me. This is just interesting to me. So I wonder if I added like some times I could, this is just for silly. About 10 a.m. How will it, there we go. And then about 10:30 a.m. I think I left about 11. And then I came back, and right now it was about 12. I don't know, 12:05 p.m. Currently it's 12 p.m. OM. So we're just gonna, I don't know, we'll just stick this into a chart and see what happens. So that's the price action so far. So starting at around 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. is when I noticed that VoltSwap was changing the liquidity on this pool. And I wish I could have saw it on ThetaSwap. I can't see it in ThetaSwap. I have no idea where to go to get the contract address for TDROP because it's not listed anywhere. So you in order to get TDROP added to this, you would either need it to show up in your wallet, which it doesn't. Oh goodness. I don't know. And this isn't the wallet that even has. Yeah, so you could add the token, but you need the contract address. Where do you find the contract address? Normally, you would go to the Explorer, right? So, like, if you needed a contract address for Ethereum, you would go to Etherscan and you would type in that. But there's just nothing here yet. Nothing there. So we're still waiting for it to kind of all catch up. Trying to see if I can find any. So there's a smart contract that got finalized at 12:13. Aha, TDROP token. Hello, I found you. Contract address. Ha 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 ha. Let's go over here to ThetaSwap. TDROP. See, I'm something of a genius myself. Not really. I don't think I am. So I could put a max in of 42 T fuel, but that's not going. Pair doesn't exist. Oh, you have to go over here, obviously. Create a pair. Add liquidity. I want to do TDROP. You were the first liquidity provider? I find that hard to believe. Seriously? There's nobody else here on Theta Swap that has added it? TDROP? Actually, you'd have to have TDROP in your account before you could create a pair. So I can't do any of this because I can't get TDROP off of my wallet. So now we're just kind of in a waiting game. But so I'm pretty sure I answered basically all the questions that anyone would have, and at this point, it's just tracking prices and just kind of digging in and looking at all the things behind the curtain that nobody wants you to see. Because I don't think, I don't know. I don't think that they were. So it's interesting to me. The reason I'm thinking about it is like they were obviously Volt Swap here was obviously able to add liquidity pools and change liquidity pools before the airdrop occurred. Like we don't have access to our TDROP tokens right now. So how were they able to add liquidity pairs at 10 o'clock this morning or 11 o'clock this morning? It's very interesting to me. I don't know. It's fascinating to say. So now we're going to be like, now we're going to try where'd that formula go? I covered it up. So Theta Fuel is at 12.757. And the conversion ratio is 1 to 0.81. Oh, it's exactly 22 cents still. It was just 22 cents and 15. 2215. Whereas it was at. Oh, because the formulas. I'm smart. Let's try that again. So this formula is it this way? Now I'm gonna make a fool of myself. Nope, okay. That's right. 21 cents. So I'm the new coin market cap. Come here to watch coin price action, the rise and fall of a completely unlisted coin. Oh, we got a new change, 0.85. There's gotta be like some sort of algorithm that I could have developed or something to make this. Hey, now I want to see all the decimal places. So any questions or comments from anybody watching that I could answer? Maybe give me some amounts so we could play with some numbers, something like that. I'm just watching the ticker at this point. I don't know. Oh, 1.3. Let's just copy that. Let's see what that does. Okay. Let's try that again. So now we're down to 16 cents. I need Excel to have like I need this to have like a now formula, like right now, right this minute. So now we're seeing the price drop. So there's obviously some exchanging going on. So we can see that. What does this indicate? So this indicates that there was a high amount of T fuel put into liquidity. There was a higher amount of T fuel liquidity pools, and now we're seeing that T fuel be taken out theoretically. That's one example of it. Or we're seeing TDROP be put in. So that could be sell pressure. If you, well, let's see, if you had a large pool of one or the other, as those ratios change, that's what's going to change the price. And so right now we're seeing a falling price, which would indicate a increase in supply of T fuel from some form or the other. We don't know. There's no way to track why T fuel would be, or T drop would be increasing in supply. You could assume that some people are selling selling their T drop for T fuel, therefore increasing the supply of T drop, and that would lower the price. So we're seeing another lowering, 1.2. So I wish you wouldn't do that, you silly thing. So now we're at 14 cents. I think I'm just doing this for posterity. Come back and look at later, kind of see what happened and what the launch looked like. So we're kind of seeing like this pretty sharp downturn. Well, we had a pretty insignificant uptick here. And so right now what we could be seeing, and this is changing pretty rapidly. Let's look at the pairs and see if these pairs are live yet, because that might give us a little bit more information. T fuel volts. Let's look for T drop. All right, so now this is live. What do we got here? Here, look at this. They're putting it at 13 cents. What was I putting it at? 14? Well, 1.411. Yep, see, hey, I want it on record to be noted that I was able to figure out the price before I saw a chart at all. And now it should be recording. It's streaming. This better be saved. Okay, so you can kind of see a bit of a price chart here. Kind of. So we kind of went up to, 22 cents, down to 13 right now. So we can look at the total liquidity. About $1,000 in liquidity overall. Okay. You can see all the different pairs. So we got T-drop and Volt as one pair. T-drop and T-fuel as another pair. Interesting. So the pair exists, but there's not really any liquidity. Everybody's just putting it into T-drop T-fuel. Okay, so let's look at the transactions. Let's see what swaps we have. So yeah, so I think your name is like One School 11, something like that. Yeah, so technically speaking, staking was supposed to be like now, and then the rewards would have been starting at 3, but it's kind of looking like it's going to take until about 3 for it even to show up in the wallets. So I still have not have mine show up in the actual wallet itself. And so once it shows up in the wallet, then we should be able to see staking take place. And so they had set at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is in about 2.5 hours. Then staking should go live. Oh, I'm cutting in and out. Well, that's very rude, YouTube. I mean, it says excellent connection. Like, on my end, everything seems good. I don't know what else I could change. So you said my T-drop came in a week ago. Well, yeah, the T-drop was basically distributed um, a week ago. I think it's probably been about 10 days at this point. Um, if we look at the wallet address, let's see if we can see. I don't know. No, it's just going to tell me the same thing. Yeah, so they're in there on the block explorer, but you can't do anything with it, right? If you go into the wallet, there should be. So kind of like I was at the very beginning of the stream, I was showing here in the wallet area, you should be able to see T-drop. And then from there, you should be able to send it and all that kind of stuff. And you can't, if you can't stake it until you can send it somewhere. So once it shows up here, you'll go to stakes, deposit stake, and then you should be able to see that the T-drop thing to deposit to. So that's not quite live yet. I don't think I'm going to be on until it is live. But so it looks like we're sitting still right around 13 cents. And now we're down to 10 cents. I'm just curious about these swaps. Like, who's swapping T-drop for T-fuel, and who's able to do that? I'm just going to go on a little bit of an exploration here. So apparently this wallet address what have we here? I have no idea what's going on here. Wrapped T-fuel. Okay, so Volt Swap is using wrapped T-fuel. Okay, interesting. This account is very active. So this one account is swapping T-drop for T-fuel, selling. Yeah, that's what I was expecting, is you're decreasing the supply of T-drop. We have some active selling going on. Wow, look at this address. That's fascinating to me. This is just one wallet address. And I'm wondering if that's the actual T-drop contract. But it's not really showing. So 3 hours ago, we had somebody adding 10 T-drop, 5 T-drop, 3,000 T-drop. This is the same address. That looks like a test transaction, probably. That's now we have the same address 3 times, adding a total of like 2,000 approximately T-fuel, probably about 4,000 T-drop. 246. Well, it's about 2, 4. Yeah, it's about 6,000 T-drop. Now we're just snooping at this point. So it's showing wrapped T-fuel, but it's not showing, like, what it's converting to. So a few seconds ago, from here to there. Very fascinating. This is just interesting to me. No one's removed any liquidity yet, so yeah, right now we're looking at a price of about 10 cents. So if you were to just quickly calculate sort of like overall, let's see. If you were to get 6,000 in total, then you would take that and by its current price, and that means the current value of like the total airdrop would be about $600. So if you get an airdrop of 2,000 TDROP, it's sitting at about, currently it's about $200 worth. Not bad, not too shabby. Like $200 free dollars. It's pretty impressive that there's total liquidity is only 1,000, like $1,500. I don't know if I was expecting more or not. So we got 2,300 at this point. Now the price is tanking down to about 8 cents. This trading view is, here we go. Let's just do that. Nope, that's broken. I wish that Theta swap had. So yeah, T fuel and volt. That's the most common pair. I wish TDROP, or I wish, yeah, Theta swap had an interface like this. Okay, here's the contract for TDROP. So if you were to add it to like your wallet, you should be able to add token, come over here and copy this, Control C, add token, enter the contract address, and that should didn't just automatically do that. Well, maybe the wallet doesn't work the same as MetaMask. Because it worked when I was in here trying to add liquidity. You're the first liquidity provider. I don't believe that. I really don't. Create a pair. Still can't, I might just do this once I get the chance to. I don't really know, though. I don't know if I want to do liquidity. So the thing about liquidity is, you have to supply both tokens, right? You have to supply some amount of T fuel and some amount of T drop. And then people can use those tokens that you supply to trade against. And you get 0.3% of every transaction, but you also run the risk of if one of those tokens goes really, really high or really, really low, you can lose out on, whatever profits you might have made whatever, transactions you would have accumulated, you would have lost out on. You wash it out basically through impermanent loss. Yeah, if like the token, it goes really really high or goes really really low, there's like this, you want it to stay pretty consistent. So now we're at 6% or 6 cents. Not a lot of activity quite yet. So what it looks like is we had a lot of people putting in these pairs, and then a bunch of people swapping their TDROP for T fuel. So the overall volume is about 2,000. And it really looks like there's just this one address that's just been super active. And I wonder if that belongs to like somebody from the Volt Swap team, or maybe like the Theta team or something like that. Now I'm getting this silly thing saying your audio stream is lower. I don't understand what's going on here. YouTube, that's not helpful. 19. What's the recommended bit rate? 4,500? Is that something that I should change right away? Or I can change? Can I even change it? Not while I'm streaming. Oh, wait, maybe I can. All right, maybe that'll help some of that buffering. Yeah, so this is the address. This is the token address. View on Theta scan. Yep. Oh, perfect. Glad that that's fixed. It seems like it was fluctuating significantly, so I think I just needed to change a little setting there. Yeah, so, hi, thanks for joining. Yeah, the Theta wallets seem to not have it there yet. I'm going to check on, and it seems like you can't even really add it yet. That's actually what I was really just about to check on. I wanted to just add it. Oh, that didn't work. So this is the contract address. So normally, like, if you were doing this with, like, MetaMask, this is how you would do it. So I put that in there, and it should just auto-populate, and it doesn't. So that's kind of annoying. Let's see. I had to unstake T-Fuel a while back and add more. Is that still a thing, or can you add to it what's already in your stake? So far as I know, in order to add to the stake, you have to meet the minimum requirement. Oh, you know what? That makes sense now. I just remember something. Anyway, so if you were to stake more Theta, right, you would need at least 1,000 Theta to add to the stake. Or if you're staking T Fuel, you'd need at least 10,000 at that minimum to add to the stake. So if you had staked 10,000 and you wanted to add 1,000, you'd have to unstake that 10,000 and then restake the the 1,100. That's as far as I know, that's still how it works. So I was under the impression that the native wallet would update like right away, and it has yet to do so. So this is interesting information. So we have the contract, the name, TDROP, TNT20, total supply, 10 billion. That's interesting. Because we weren't supposed to have 10 billion according to their schedule. So now everything I did is just wrong. We weren't expecting to have like 10 billion enter the supply until like December of this year. So we're just right out the gate. We have a circulating supply that's 6 billion more than we were anticipating. Right, the total supply is 20 billion. But their whole thing was that they were going to do a vesting schedule along these lines for the next 4 years. And so by the end of 2026, we would have 20 billion in the circulating supply. And that was just sort of based on their white paper. And so this is the white paper. And this was that was how it was supposed to happen. Now, according to, where were we? Where did it go? There it is. Token detail. According to this, there's a total supply of 10 billion right now. 38,000 holders, 38,000 transfers. And we are seeing a significant amount of this changing hands right now. And I don't know how that's happening. Who's doing this? Who's has access to it? Because I don't. Yep, that's what I thought. But with TDROP, no minimum, and you can unstake as much as you want. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, so you can stake any amount of TDROP once staking opens up. So that changes a lot of things. I'm thinking about it because I went through and we talked about how, based on this current supply and how much of it would be staked, that's what would change. That's what would give you your staking rewards. If there is actually 10 billion in supply, I have all these tabs open, that would change everything significantly. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, it doesn't seem like you should be able to do that. So I'm just curious. Oh, looks like Mitch tweeted. Let's go check that out. Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me. Why'd you do that? So, TDROP contract is now active, and transfers plus staking are live in the iOS and Android wallets, with web wallet coming soon. Integration with TDROP is in process now. Whoa, integration with Theta Trop. Staking rewards will kick in at block 13949050. TNT transaction history will be added in an update too. For mobile wallet users, you may not see your T-Fuel Theta stakes after the app updates. This is a known error and only affects the display. Your tokens are still staked on chain, as you can see in the Explorer. We are working to correct the issue ASAP. Cool. Up to the date information. Let's check the Guardian node and see what block we're on. I show that we're on 947728. So we have about 2,000 blocks to go to get to staking rewards. I don't think I'm going to be on for that long. Probably another like 15 minutes or so. I don't know. This has been a really long live stream, so thanks for everybody who's, showed up and commented. I appreciate the engagement for sure. So now this is kind of conflicting information. Back to what this tweet says. Also, you'd said something. I think you can't sell TDROP for a few months. So, yeah, you technically can't like sell it for like on an exchange or anything like that. But in theory, it seems like you're able to, once you have access to it in your wallet, you could come here to Volt Swap and trade it for T-Fuel. Oh, we are down to 5 cents. That's exciting. So we are seeing like a pretty intense crater. I'm going to look at my Theta wallet on my phone and see if that's updated. I don't really use the mobile version very much. But I'm just curious because I thought that the wallet, would basically update when it was dropped so that you would have access to your TDROP as soon as that happened. But that appears to not be the case. And so this tweet is indicating that the Android version is up to date. Well, the app, which is interesting to me. So I want to double check that. And I want to see if I can see my TDROP on my app. Right. I would need to update the app first. And so that's going to be kind of at the mercy of Google at this point. Let's check the Play Store and see if there's any updates. So I wonder if they like pushed out the app. Holy cow. Look, I see a Theta wallet update. Let's see if that does anything. Liquidity is down. So we have more selling going on. So it looks like, yeah, the price is dumping. I think that this is to be expected. A bunch of people are selling their TDROP for T-Fuel. So yeah, like you could come here to Volt Swap. Once you get it, you could come here and sell it for T-Fuel, and then you could take your T-Fuel and transfer it over to, what, Kucoin or, well, where else could you go? I mean, there's a whole bunch of places you can sell it. Binance, well, not for us in the U.S. So Gate.io is one other place that you could sell it in the U.S. I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe it's not on Kucoin. Well, I know it is on Kucoin, and that's Theta. So if so suppose you wanted to sell. That is such a I hate that price so much. Ugh, that's depressing. Anyway, sorry. Uh, yeah, there you go. You could swap your T drop for T fuel, then you could swap your T fuel for Theta, and you could send it to Kucoin or Gate.io or any of these, and then you could sell it for cash at that point. Well, you could sell it for USDT. At that point, you would need to take your USDT, send it to something like wherever you have an off ramp, somewhere where you can convert USDT to dollars, like Binance.us or I think Coinbase. Pretty positive you can use Coinbase as well. So that is a insane amount of work to get from T drop to dollars, and by the time you got through that entire process, I don't think it would be worth it because you would be losing a ton of money on transaction fees. I'm gonna check my Theta wallet again, see if it updated. Hey, I can see it on my Theta wallet. This is janky. You can kind of see it there now. Trying not to get the glare. I don't think it's gonna focus, but you can tell that it's there. So it's on the once you update the Android app or iOS app, you can do that. And I can send it. So I could send it to another wallet address. I want to know what the pair is going for right now. Wow. So we're all the way up at basically 7.2. That's 7.2 T drop for 1 T fuel, putting it way back down at 2 cents. So the rise and fall, my friends, of T drop. We are back to where we were a few hours ago. But see, no, it's 0.02. Sorry. That's not crazy though. I mean, that's pretty normal. Even slightly less volatility than I was expecting. There's not a whole lot going on, and I'm guessing it's probably because there's not a lot of people that can really access it. So I'm guessing that these people were using the wallet or, sorry, they were using the mobile wallet. Yeah. I'm guessing. Why would they want to get rid of it when it's like just launched? I don't know. I mean, especially when you're selling 7,000 T drop for 1,500 T fuel, so you're making about $200. I'm guessing that if you're one of these people that have you got some ridiculous amount like up here. I mean, let's look at the top like 100 Guardian nodes. That would be these guys right about here. They're looking at T drop amounts of about 600,000 or more. So somewhere around 700,000 T drop. So the fact that we're not seeing them do anything, I mean, we're not seeing like whale activity, a few thousand at a time. Oh, look, we got one $5 transaction for Volt. Somebody sold Volt or sold their T drop for Volt. Oh no, that's an ad. That's a so they added liquidity for $5. You got to start somewhere, guys. So, I'm guessing that, these people, and I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but swap, they swapped it. Final, this is a transaction hash. From address to address, tokens transferred. So from here to here, 7,000 T drop for 1,500 T fuel. That's the transaction amount. And it went from this address to this address. This address, aha, yes. So here we go. Here we have somebody with a balance of 200,000 Theta and 2 million T drop. Just sort of selling. I mean, look at all this. They're putting 3,000, 3,000, 4,000, 7,000 to all one address. So what's that address? That address is it's a liquidity pool. So this is a liquidity guy. 11,000, let's see, 100,000, 15 T drop, 5,000 wrapped T fuel. Basically, this person is sending all of their T fuel and T drop to Volt Swap to create liquidity, and so that is what is happening there. And someone else is selling all of it. So that there's one person putting up liquidity, and then the other person. We are down below a cent, people. Oof, that's rough. We're at 0.006 at almost 1 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, you theoretically, yeah, you could go on to VoltSwap right now, load up your wallet with some T fuel, and then you can swap. You could get, so say you had 50 T fuel, you could get about 1,800 T drop right now. Oh, this is liquidity. Sorry, let's try that again. Hey, Litecoin leader, thanks for hopping on. Let's try this again. So let's go to T fuel and T drop, and yeah, so you could. Oh, I was close. 1,800. So and you'd only lose about 0.15 T fuel for the liquidity provider fee. So Theta swap, I still don't think any liquidity has been added, and that still boggles my mind. Pair doesn't exist. Does just nobody use Theta swap? Is that just like I cannot for the life of me understand that nobody has created liquidity on a Theta swap. You're the first liquidity provider. I kind of wonder if I should just throw like $10 of liquidity on there and see what happens. Hello, Russian bot person. You can not comment things like that on my live stream. Great. Why won't it let me delete it? Okay, well, there's a Russian like hacker bot thing in there, and because of the setup, Apparently I can't delete my stuff, those things. So don't go to that link that is in there. Just ignore that. I need a mod. That's what I need. I need to get a moderator to delete this stuff. All right, so let's say I wanted to add liquidity on Theta Swap just for grins and giggles. What would I need to do that? So like we have established earlier, the TDROP is not working on the native wallets, like online, the web wallet. But, okay. Good. Glad there's no link there. It looks like it's some sort of tiny URL thing or something. Web wallets don't have TDROP on there, but the Android and iOS apps wallets do after you update the app. So, let's see what happens if I just send 1,000. So let me think. How am I going to do this? I need to get it from my phone to my computer. Well, it's going to be a process, but here we go. This is what we can do. Ah, well, look at that. The Google Chrome extension has TDROP on there now, and that wasn't on there a few minutes ago. So we're making small progress. Litecoin Leader says, the history of airdrops tends to say that a local high happens really early, then a dip, and then a bounce back up. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we have seen happen. And so before Volt Swap actually had it going on, I was tracking it over here. And yeah, we saw this slow climb, and then about noon, we had a super big spike, and then now it's dropped back down to below 1 cent. It's probably actually lower now if we refresh it. No, it's about the same. So we've stabilized at 0.007 approximately. All right, so here's what I do for getting my wallet address from my my computer to my phone, or my phone to my computer. So I'll get Google Keep, and I will copy. So if I wanted to receive it here, I'll just click on it, copy it, bam, there you go. And now it's there, and then I can just delete that, or not delete it, but I can get rid of it. And then that exists on my phone. So you can open up Google Keep on your phone now and copy and paste that address, and it's super easy. And then you don't have to worry about typing or emailing it to yourself or something like that. So I'm going to send, well, first I'm going to find it. I'm going to open my Theta wallet, and I'm going to send 1,000 TDROP. Is that a lot? I don't know. I don't really think so. I'm going to double check the address. Just want to make sure. 2497. All right. And this is the first TDROP transaction that I'm going to do. 0.3 T fuel as an estimated gas fee. We are sending the transaction. Bam, look at that. Instantaneous. That's insane. Theta is so much faster than pretty much every other blockchain. With the exception of like Cardano. Cardano's pretty fast too. That one has gone, those transactions have gone through pretty quickly. So let's see. Now that I have both of these, I just want to check again. Add liquidity. Select the token, TDROP. Still no liquidity. Okay, so create a pair. So this is how you would add liquidity. Most of the time you would be doing this on a much larger scale, but let's see what I can do with 50 T fuel and 1,000 TDROP. So here we go. So now you're going to be providing liquidity at a ratio that's like similar. And so ideally, normally it will sort of populate it for you. Now, if you're looking at a ratio of what were we looking at? It was like it was well over. Oh, wow. We're at 21 to 1 right now. So 1 T fuel is 21 T drop. So say for here, it's telling me that if I put in, like you can see it auto populates what a proportional amount would be. Oh, and we're going back up now. So now it looks like we're getting some liquidity going into the pool. So that's what that indicates. So that jumped from 21 to 19, indicating that somebody added or added more T fuel, probably. So now we're seeing it go back up 0.18. So that's a pretty significant drop. What is that? That's like a crater. Well, if I just did that, if I just did 21, that's what it was at. Yeah, we're looking at. No. Oh yeah. Okay, 21. That was right. Oh no, not a significant amount then, I guess. We went up a cent to point. Okay, so now we're going up to. Now we're at 1 cent again. So maybe we're going to go back up on the upswing. So we're at 1 p.m. We're looking at about 0.013 cents. I cannot type, apparently. I should go back to adding liquidity before I get sniped and somebody puts liquidity in before me. Well, anyway, I'm going to use this as a guide. So if I do 40 T fuel, that's looking at about 703 T drop. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add. Where'd it go? Maybe I should close some of my tabs. Nah. 40 T fuel and 703. Oh, 636. See, this is just gambling at this point because it's gonna change. Oh, okay. So here we go. 100% of the pool, though. I mean, can I beat that? 15 T drop per T fuel. So this is their calculations. They're looking. Theta swap is saying 15.9. Oh yeah. Okay. So they're on the same page. Allow. The minimum amount of tokens required to create pair is 1,000. 1,000 what? 1,000 T fuel? I don't have 1,000 T fuel that I have just available to drop on this. Oh, well, okay, there you go. You heard it here first. You want to create liquidity, you need at least 1,000. Someone want to send me 950 T fuel? Just kidding. Well, there you go. That's good information that you would have figured out the hard way. So let's go back to our price tracking. Let's kind of see where we're at now. $0.01. Still 1 cent. So we're climbing. We're climbing steadily, actually. I wonder what's going on. I want to see. Those are the charts. Yeah. So if you go to pairs again, I want to look and see kind of like what is going on and with the T drop token. And we're back up to about $1,000, $1,100 in liquidity. Oh, wasn't I just there? I'm just an idiot. That's where I was. We're seeing some different addresses, but a lot of just the same ones. So a lot of these addresses, I'm sure, have just probably significant amounts of T drop that they're just sort of willing to offload. And that's nice of them to set up liquidity pools for those of us that didn't get, 5 million dropped to us or something like that. So now would probably be a good time if you were to trade for uh, some T drop. Now would be a good time probably to get it. Not financial advice, obviously, because it is a pretty low price compared to where it was. Yeah, and I don't honestly, I don't predict that it will get above. What did I say? Um, I don't think it's gonna be like significantly above 12 cents, like as like once it gravitates towards the mean. 12 cents is gonna put it somewhere around a $500 million, like it would be like a $500 market cap, $500 million market cap. That seems like probably not gonna happen, but uh, it who knows? It really all just depends on liquidity at this point and the buy and sell pressure, the supply and demand. So now we're back to 10. Still haven't broken 2 cents, but we're getting there. I wonder what this is counting down to. It must be the staking. So, well, I think I have done what I came to do, and that is explain like all of this madness and throw some speculative staking rewards out there. Uh, Speculate on the price and what it might be worth at the end of this whole thing, and what it might be worth right about now, based on all the data that I could generate, which is a significant amount of work trying to find all the Guardian node addresses and validator nodes. Uh, but if you're one of the people that got around, the middle of the road amount, or well, it's actually that's not what that is. That's the middle of the road. The mode would be the most repeated number. So you probably got about $200 at this point in airdrop, because like I think we're still at, well, that was at 10 cents. That was a couple hours ago. Now we're at $20. So your airdrop's probably worth $20. I don't mean to be a naysayer. Theta Drop website is updated to see perks. Oh, you know what? That's a thing that I didn't even mention. I totally forgot about that. There's going to be like these whole tier levels. And I didn't come anywhere close to getting like, so at 100,000 you have like a bronze level. Silver, you're gonna have like a million, and then at 10 million I think you're at gold level, and those have like perks and stuff like that. um so where do you see the perks? Where would I find those? Hmm. So I don't see T drop anywhere on the Theta website, Theta drop website. Those are all my NFTs if you're curious. I don't feel like I. Sales, deposits, withdrawals. No, none of that seems to be. Well, maybe it's just not updated on my end or something like that. So, anyway, so I think I'm going to buy $100 worth of T drop just for fun. Could be a good time. Could be a good time to do that. Dun, 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 dun. Man, I wish I would have known that about the liquidity, because that would have been kind of fun. That's okay. I don't know where I'd be able to just... it'd be such a process to try and get a hold of 1,000 T fuel right at the moment. So we are climbing again, back up to 3 cents. Let's try PM instead of AM. There we go. So yeah, this just looks like a typical airdrop. You see a bit of a rise as liquidity is, pumped into the system, and then bloop, they sell it all. Pretty sure it's probably the same people. Provide the liquidity and then sell it. Oh, they say we're back down at a cent. Oh, Mitch Liu tweeted again. Good to be working with CoinDesk again, streaming NFT All-Stars. Completely unrelated. So, how do you stake TDROP? Still don't know how TDROP earned on my Theta Drop wallet can be sent to my Theta wallet address. Yes, both addresses are different. What? That doesn't even make any sense. So this doesn't make any sense because the TDROP was sent to Guardian addresses. Theta Drop is not a spot where you can stake. So there are some very confused people on Twitter. I try and stay away from Twitter. All right. Well, I think that's just about everything. So I'm still confused by this 10 billion total supply right now. That totally contradicts what the vesting schedule looked like here and totally throws off a bunch of my stuff, but don't know what to tell you. Here's the admin address, airdrop accumulated, airdropper. So that's the airdrop address. This is the address that's going, this is probably the address that you would see that is coming, where it's coming from. Let me see. I wonder if I can see it on my mobile wallet. Nope. Nope, it's not. You can't see it yet, but another video to explain why there's 10 billion instead of 4 billion. At that point, I'd have to go do some more digging. I need these T-drop transactions to be coming through because right now they're not. And then, yeah, that's just a whole nother mystery. So, stay tuned for that. I might have to do a video on why that happened. So, but at any rate, thank you all for joining me as we see this crazy stuff happen and sitting through that tiresome explanation. I don't know. I think it's interesting and kind of cool to see how all this stuff works. But so if you enjoyed that, give that like button a press and then subscribe for more in-depth cryptocurrency content. That's kind of what I do here. So thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you all very soon.